Hey guys, my name's Craig, and I'm a Flesh and Blood player out of Pittsburgh on the team Smash with Green Tree, and I'm one of our local Katsu players here. Right now, Katsu's in a position to do pretty well at the Pro Tour. He's my personal bet to take it. I think Katsu specialists are in a really good place in this current meta. Um, there's going to be a lot of Dromais there. The Victor matchup is tough, but I don't think we're going to see as much Victor representation as we did during RTN season. So this is certainly a time that a lot of people want to know how to play around Katsu. And it's kind of a tough question to answer because people often ask, how do I block Katsu? And they want to know, do I block the Surging Strike? Do I block what comes after? And the thing with Katsu is the first time he hits, he gets to discard a 0 and tutor. So the answer to the question is entirely based on the context that I have of what's in my hand, but that you don't have. So I can't really be too dogmatic about always block out Surging Strike. Because if you do that, and then I come in with a Whelming Gust Wave for 4 with an on-hit of draw card, you're going to need to commit to blocking that as well. Most likely. So it's difficult to think of how to block Katsu as sort of like, I see this card, I block this much. And since I don't have a great answer for what the right thing to do is each time, I thought it'd be better to just go over my list, play a couple games, and take you through some of the decision making that I go through as a Katsu player in the game. Now, one of the things that people I don't think know, or I don't think realize about Katsu is sort of the ultimate recursive aggro hero. What I mean by that is you can tell what Katsu is going to do based off of what's in Katsu's graveyard. Because Bonds of Ancestry has to target a combo card from your graveyard and pull it out of your deck. Now, that's pretty obvious, but most Katsu lists look something like this. Mine's a bit different in that I don't think many are running Take the Tempo. You'll probably see some that run more Art of War, but as far as the Bonds of Ancestry goes, the goal of that isn't Dishonor. Dishonor is often, it's great if you can get it off, but it tends to be as good as a red Flusterfist most of the time. You'll notice I run 2 more Whelming Gust Waves than I do Descendant Gust Waves. But what you want to know about what's in the graveyard are how many Bonds, how many Descendants, and how many Whelmings. Those are what allow a Katsu player to go an extra Bonds link, which is essentially 3 more cards, right? Now, with Mask of the Pouncing links, we increase our ability to do that with cards like Blue Bonds of Ancestry, Yellow Descending Gustwave, and Blue and Yellow Gustwave. So we can grab those cards. We can grab Dishonor as well if you're a hero that really worries about Dishonor. That's something that you can be aware of as well. Is they might not target a Bonds of Ancestry, or they might not target, let's say a Katsu player plays a Bonds of Ancestry targeting 100 wins and pulling it out of their graveyard. Doesn't necessarily mean you're safe from Dishonor as long as Mask of the Pouncing links is up. So you still have to consider what the options are with Pouncing links. Which brings me to my favorite piece of tech in the current list, which is the Dishonor into Tenacity. If I can present a natural Dishonor turn, I'll often break my Breeze Rider boots as soon as I know I'm going to be able to do that, so that I can, for example, play a Surging Strike, it hits, I discard a 0, and I banish a Dishonor. You now know that's coming, right? Or even better yet, I grab a Bonds of Ancestry and I have a Dishonor in my graveyard, right? I follow up with the Descendant, I follow up with the Bonds, and I target the Dishonor. If you let that Bonds hit, and I break Breeze Riders, and I do Pouncing Links for Tenacity, I put you in a position where you're either going to lose your hero power, or you're probably going to take about 6. Generally, when you set that up, you try and go for a bit more, as the most important piece of equipment that you have is Breeze Rider Boots in Katsu. That is what allows you to go on absurdly long Bonds of Ancestry chains. With Ancestral Harmony right now, you can go for 4, I believe, but you're probably going to see a triple Bonds turn in a game against Katsu. It's not uncommon. But the list is pretty straightforward for what most Katsus are running. And so let's get into a game, and hopefully I can do Green Tree Proud here. I don't need to do that. I just need to... Another thing you can do with Pouncing Links, late into the game, if... oh, this is not a matchup I'm great at, but late into the game, if you just are at the point where you're almost Kodachi locking them, you can break Pouncing Links for a double strike, just making it even harder for them to block out everything. I'm gonna add that. I don't want to stress too much about my sideboard right now, so I'm not going to worry about that. And here, what I'm going to do, because it is turn 0, I'm just going to get my Bonds of Ancestry in the graveyard. And it probably seems like a weird thing to do, because you want your Bonds of Ancestry for turns where you can go and fetch for something else, but I only have one other Mugenshi, and in this matchup, I'd rather save that for later. And okay, they're gonna heal back up. That's fine. But now I have this as a target for later, and I'd rather be able to do... I like to hold on to the Tenacity. Don't love that. I'd rather be able to use the double Bonds than just get that first Bonds off. The sooner I can start going extra wide, the better. Okay, so the second axe is already coming in for 5, but I don't love this hand, and Kasai wants to get a Vigor out of this. So I'm happy to put 100 wins in the grave. If they have a react, we'll see it here, but I think they would want to save that for their next one. So here... Oh, okay, this doesn't affect that. I'm still going to overblock this. Because at this point, I'm fine with putting one Mugenshi in the graveyard. Because now that I have a second Bonds here, it is good to start getting targets there. We'll go like this. They'll probably pump this. Okay, so that turn we denied them their Vigor. That's okay by me. Since Kasai tends to like to block, hopefully we get value out of Tenacity, but I think all we're going to see here is the Dynamo block. There it is. Not worth throwing the Tenacity. Okay, this is great. So Hmm. I'm gonna let this hit because I want to keep this whole hand. I would love to be able to use the Ancestral Harmony here, but we're going to need it to pitch for Surging Strike because it's too early to break the Hardened Cross Straps. The reason for that is the graveyard's not full of combo pieces, and that's really what we want before we start using our equipment. Oh, an agility token, okay. So even if we do end up tutoring for a Descendant Gust Wave, if Surging Strike hits, it'll be free. So will our Bonds of Ancestry. So I'm just, at this point, trying to bait more stuff out for the Tenacity if this doesn't hit, because I believe we're going to get a 3-block in the Valiant Dynamo here. And that way I can Tenacity and then Arsenal the Bonds of Ancestry. I don't know that I probably won't discard the Flusterfist if I hit with Tenacity. It's something I could do just to get it in the grave, but I don't have Go again. So, yep, that's what I expected. Oh. Another thing, I think I'll do this here just to, if I'm going to waste my Tenacity, I want there to be more. There we go, we got one more. So hopefully we can leak a little bit of damage with Tenacity now. That's both my Tenacities for the game. I don't love that because I think it's a great piece. I'm going to pass these. Okay. I am pretty sure this is a turn we are going to be giving equipment to. Because we are looking at a gold and a copper. We can't let them have that. They do have one floating. When they swing with this, they'll come in for 3. So here I am going to... could give them this. Because next turn all I want to do is just play Warmongers. Okay. A great hand. Now we look at our graveyard and we see that we can do at least a double bonds turn, right? I'm going to just take this. This is where we start to look at where we can swing back. So by breaking cross straps here, we have surging, descendant, bonds. We could bonds for a bonds and break our boots to go whelming, bonds, and then our best follow-up is probably 100 wins. So that's not great. So right now, we're not going to go for a double bonds. It's not, oh, I can't do that anyway. So the best thing to do is pitch this. We'll save the one floating for a spinning wheel kick at the end. So we are going to go for 100 wins for that natural go again. So it's going to be 5, 5, 4, 3, 4 is our turn. Hopefully we can get a good amount out of their hand so that next turn they have nothing to come back up with and we can just keep the train rolling. Balance is a great card against Katsu. Obviously, any deck that runs Art of War, it's a good card to counter those turns. Here we have a Sync or a Fate. There we go. Because we are not running Mask of Momentum, and general, this is actually just how Katsu always really wants to play. Breaking scales is most important for Katsu triggers. It's not something to spend on. No, I don't want to destroy pouncing links yet. It's too soon. It's not something that we want to spend on hit draw a card. That's good. Sometimes it can be what we need, but more often than not, what we're looking for there is to be able to tutor for a card. The value of that is greater than just hitting for one additional damage and then drawing a card, because if you assume that the value of the card you draw is going to be 3, well, tutoring for bonds is then 4 plus 3. So let's see how much we can get out of them here. They're probably going to let this hit as well, so they have something to crack back with. On Talishar, Katsu is an important hero to run full control on, especially when you are running Mask of Momentum. It's very important that you're able to trigger your mask before your Katsu ability. You don't want to discard a card that you are going to rather have, or discard a card and tutor for something that you're just going to draw into. I don't have any dishonors in my graveyard yet, so I will try and do... what I'll do here is actually, it's a spoils turn. Ooh. Okay. I don't think this hand gives me enough of a lead to really risk taking all the damage this turn. Because if they just have another spoils or blood on her hands next turn, yeah, giving this go again and this 2 attacks. Probably. Push forward. Okay, so the next one will have Dominate. So I'm going to be looking at 7 Dominate on the next one, and then another 6. If I took it all this turn, I'll probably end up at 7, so I don't want to do that. But I think the most important card to have in my arsenal is Whelming Gustwave. So I'm gonna play around keeping Whelming Gustwave. Though this blocks. This is the next time any sword hits this turn, or weapon hits. So we're gonna give him a gold this turn. So they didn't buff that. That's cool. And they pitched this. So I was... Okay. Okay. I don't know what I was so worried about. Wish I kept the Dishonor, but... we'll take this and we'll block the next one. Oh, right. That was what I was worried about. So this will come in for 5. I gotta give them the Whelming because I don't want them to have more copper than that. So it's unfortunate, but we're gonna Arsenal and pass this turn. Okay. One of the reasons I love Double Strike so much is just the ability to get one more potential Katsu trigger is so huge. This is going to be a really big turn. We might just keep setting up for our next big turn. Yeah, Blade Flurry. This card's too good. It's a really good card. Oh, I should have known that. It didn't have... oh well, that's okay. We'll show them the Descendant here to see if they respect it, and if they don't, then we'll discard the 100 wins, and if they do, we'll get a card out of their hand. So... And if they only give me armor... Katsu, or Kasai runs enough D-reacts that I only really want to do this when I have to, when I know it's big. The fact that they're giving me this here when they could destroy their coppers, I'm okay with this. Boy, I haven't loved these hands. We're going to play around Blade Flurry here again. That's all I really want to give this. Okay, Blade Runner. Whoa! They are definitely putting me at a place now where I either pop off or I fatigue. And I pop off. Yeah. We just hope they don't have enough to do lethal here. Because this should be a big turn for us. Okay, that's going to be a big hit next. I don't know if I've ever played a game on Talishar where a warrior doesn't undo their weapon swing to activate Rage Forge. It's forgotten every single time. That's okay. I probably would have liked to get rid of this whelming. Let's see what's in our graveyard. So at this point, we are going to be targeting our whelmings with our Katsu abilities. Actually, what I hope to do here is hit Mask of the Pouncing Lynx for blue bonds, Breeze Rider boots, and they're probably not going to let this hit, but I will offer Breaking Scales here. I'm fairly confident this is a defense reaction. It's sat there for a while. If it's not a defense reaction, I have no idea what it is, but it's time to start putting the pressure on them and start looking for ways to go for a longer bonds turn. Yep. Okay. Here, I'm going to get the red bonds because Pouncing Lynx for a blue whelming I think will be more damage, or even a yellow whelming, because at most they come in for 3, but I can't even, it won't have combo. So I'd have to break Breaking Scales for it to be 3. Here, hopefully they give me a defense reaction and I pump it. If they give me a defense reaction and Valiant Dynamos, okay. Let's hope they don't have it. Cool. So first thing I want to do. Now I know that Winds of Eternity is gonna come in for damage. Let's use Katsu's ability. This is where we have to check to see like our whelming count. We've got enough whelmings. We'll have a blue one that we can search for. Use Katsu's ability. Yes, we're gonna get rid of this. So we want to go for a bonds here because we have to go for the yellow. We can't go for Descendant. We don't have any floating. Mask, we are going to say yes. We are going to grab... Do I have a whelming that is yellow? No, I don't. Breeze Rider boots. Yes. We've given all of our equipment this turn. It's probably not going to be enough. But it should be big enough. So all of my 100 wins are represented in the Graveyard, Banished, and Arsenal. So here we just go for... We were always going to go for the Whelming for this next Bonds, but the idea of going 100 wins, Winds of Eternity at the end is not going to work. This is great, though. They're about to take a bunch of stuff to the face. It's not going to be enough to put us at parity, probably, but... So here, let's count our Fluster Fists. Yeah, I want to keep the Dishonor I have left in my deck just for Kodachis at a certain point. So I am going to go for a red Fluster Fist. They will be able to swing next turn, just off their Vigor. This has go again from Boots. 4 to 8. Actually, I think we take them to 1 here, right? Yeah, we're about to do 11. Well, they have their equipment still, so we'll see. I'm glad this happened because this is the sort of turn I want to show off as Katsu. This is the thing that you should expect this weekend at Pro Tour. Not this exactly, not me. You'll see players of a much higher level. But these sort of Bonds turns where we go all in on just going as wide as we can, as hard as we can. Sometimes I also have to refresh Talishar. They might just be thinking. Here we go. Ah! I see what I did. I shouldn't have gone for the Fluster Fist. I didn't have an extra Bonds. I was supposed to go for Gust Wave. Not Gust Wave. Winds of Eternity. So I messed that up. But what can you do? Hopefully here they commit the rest of their equipment so it's out of the way. I'd be happier with that than them taking damage, honestly. That way I know my on-hits can get through or take cards out of their hand. Okay. They knew that. Great. Awesome. We have a Bonds turn here. Do you see it, folks? Do you see the Bonds turn? I don't have anything with go again naturally. My taking it. Okay. Good idea. Probably. Maybe not. We'll see how many. I got both spinning wheel kicks in here. 1, 2. Yep. So the extra resource here won't do me much if I could probably Kodachi and then Descendant, but I'd rather keep them guessing. Hopefully they only give me 3. I pump it. I discard for a Bonds. And then we have another Flusterfist. Or we can go for Dishonor. It's a 4 at this point. That's all it is. Like I said, most of the time, Dishonor is not... The threat is not the on-hit. It's just that it's another 4. Most players know to play around Ancestral Empowerment. I love Be Like Water. I wish Be Like Water could hit right now. It won't. So we get rid of Whelming and we end up arsenaling the Be Like Water, or we just go because the bonds is only for 2. Yeah, this is our last bonds. So make sure I didn't mess that up. 1 Flusterfist here. I think I did, didn't I? Do we got 2 red Flusterfists here? No, we have 1 left. Here we can go 3-4. I think what we do is we go Kadachi or Be Like Water, Kadachi, Flusterfist. I like the idea of saving it for an arsenal, but as long as they have 1 card, I'm worried about them. Oh, they can't. They have to have 2 cards to use their copper, but if they have blood on their hands, it would be game over, I'm pretty sure. Okay, cool. They give us that. Very cool. So yeah, here we're just going to keep the pressure on. We got it from them. I think that's the one of... They have another in their deck, so... At this point, it's, again, a good idea to just do our check-in and see. We have 2 red Whelmings in here. We have 2 red Whelmings, so if we have a Surging Strike hit... no, if we have a Surging Strike hit, we're out of Whelmings. Oof! The Faendal's Fighting Spirit. Oh, we hate it. Great hand. Kadachi, Kadachi, Be Like Water, take the tempo. That's going to do it for us. There is no follow-up here. Correct? I'm not crazy. They just pay for their vigor. Because here we go. Kadachi, Kadachi, Be Like Water. Take the tempo. There you go. Kadachi, Kadachi. I don't have a natural go again that we could tutor for. So we just... give this up. At this point, they're going to be able to block Kadachi twice. I don't think we have it on this turn. They're going to be able to cover the Kadachis, but they're going to go down to a 1-card hand. They didn't pay for vigor. We didn't let them hit. That's why. If you are going to commit your equipment as Katsu, you have to get them to be sub 10. I think I got them down to I forget what it was that I got them down to that turn. You really want to make sure you get them within this range that you can quickly close it to a Kadachi. Yeah, so here I could have probably saved the Flusterfist block with the take the tempo, just so that if this does... Well, no, that's stupid, because on hit here is... on hit here is win the game. Not anymore, but it was. They commit a defense reaction here, and they go to 1. I draw a card, or I banish a card. I can play it next turn. Nope. So they are trying to fatigue me, but they are out of their... They're out of their goddamn minds. I'm going to go Kadachi, be like water. No, I'm going to go Kadachi, be like water, surging strike, ancestral empowerment. Took it to 1. They're going to give me a card here. I'm going to force them to give me a defense reaction. They give me a defense reaction. I don't do this here. Ancestral Empowerment, a very important card to count in the discard. It's one of the ones you're playing around. So they should know that. Okay. They do know that. What is the benefit of playing Ancestral Empowerment here is hitting a 4. My Flusterfists are all gone. But I can't let them have a 1-card hand. And they're trying to fatigue me. They have no vigor. They have to block this. Here we play Art of War as a pump. And I don't want to pitch and then banish, so here we go like this. They haven't seen an Art of War yet. It's the only one in the deck. They just saw me pitch what I believe might have been my last Ancestral Empowerment. God damn, maybe my first. I might draw a hand of just Ancestral Empowerment. No, there's one. Choose an instant. No, because they're going to have to block here, so as long as we prevent 2. Hope you have a defense reaction, because if not, that's game. Bang! That's how we do it. That was a good player. I already forget the name of them, but whoever you were, good game. That's Katsu. Go for that big turn. Typically, you want to just keep the pressure on them and pull as many cards as you can from their hand. With Kasai, in that matchup, there are just some times where you have to block. You don't want to let them get all their coppers, all their golds. So, um, anyway, that's all. I hope this video has helped you in some way, and if it did, go ahead and like and subscribe and check out Green Tree Sports Cards. Hopefully, we'll see you at FAB Summer Camp this summer. I believe it's August 15th through the 18th up here in Pennsylvania, hosted by Green Tree Sports Cards. It's going to be a great time, and we'll get some games in there on Katsu, and hopefully you can show me what you learned. Have a good one.